That makes a t-shirt.
It was a full-on moment where I walk in and Dad's like, "What button?" I'm like, "The go live button." He goes, "Oh, cool." I'm like, "Don't click it till I'm back." And he goes, "Oh no, I just clicked it. We're here."
Right, so we're live.
I think we are. Everyone say hi.
Oh yeah.
We're just welcome anyone who is here. We're currently just waiting for a final cast member to join. Is that someone watching the stream? Because I can hear my own voice playing somewhere. Oh, who's watching the stream?
Who's watching it?
I can hear the echo. But hello everyone. Welcome to the Scottish play. I've already learned my lesson about not using its proper name. As we've been trying to set this the Zoom call up to get people. There are 30 people watching. Yes!
The man.
Well, cool. I now feel a lot better as the cast is. Hello everyone. Welcome to this. God, I'm nervous now. This live reading of Macbeth. We're just like this hasn't been rehearsed or anything. It's just the thought was to get a bunch of talented people together and just have some fun with Shakespeare in a big Zoom call and letting all of you guys join. Wow, there's 32 people watching. That's great. Cool. So the way it's going to work is you'll be seeing us when our characters enter the scenes. We'll turn our cameras on and we'll be there. I think if you look at everyone's names, you can see the people that they're multi-rolling. Yeah, is there anything? I guess everyone can do you want to introduce yourselves and say who you're playing? I don't know how we'll go in which order, but just someone jump in and say that. Oh, I guess my name's Luke Martin and I'm playing Macbeth.
Go on, jump in.
My name's Patrick Burley-Brown and I'm playing Third Witch and Malcolm.
Hello.
Lucy's doing sign language. Go on, Caleb.
My name's Caleb, as you can see, and I'm playing the second witch, Duncan, and second murderer.
Hi, I'm Zoe Pearson and I'm playing Lady Macbeth.
I'm Jack.
Hello,
hello.
Go ahead.
I'm Jack Reilly and I'm playing Banquo and Seyton.
Hello, I'm Rowan Thorne and I'm playing Macduff.
I'm Liam Watson. I'm playing Ross, the Doctor, and the Messenger.
I'm Lucy Donnelly and I'm playing the First Witch, Donalbain, the Attendant, Lady Macduff, and Gentlewoman.
I think I'm last. Am I last? I'm Johnny Allison and I'm playing Captain, Porter, Old Man, and First Murderer.
Luke, when we mute ourselves, the permission's been taken off to unmute ourselves, so that needs to be
hang on.
changed.
I just realised
There
that.
we go. Sorry.
Has it been fixed?
Yep.
Okay, I believe it's been fixed. If you guys can give.
Yeah.
And am I putting this on grid view, Luke, or am I putting it on speaker view?
Gallery view, which I believe we are in.
All right. Okay. Yeah. We are.
Oh, look, there's 42 people watching now. This is amazing. We've got we've got so many people. It's lovely to see you all. I'm very excited. Oh, and also there's one last. There's two people left to introduce. Joel, Dad, do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh yeah, I'm David Martin. I'm the stage director.
Stage directions.
Stage directions. There we go. That you can get an idea of how well I'm going to do this.
And this is
Joe.
And he's playing Fleance and Macduff's son. So we'll be seeing him jump in for his parts. Wonderful, cool. Thank you. Right, shall we get started?
Let's do this.
Act 1, Scene 1. Here we go. Act 1, Scene 1. A deserted heath. Thunder and lightning. Enter 3 witches.
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be the air, the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with Macbeth.
I come, Grey Malkin.
Paddock calls.
Anon. Fair is foul, and
and
foul is fair.
fair.
Hover
Hover through the fog
and
filthy
filthy
air.
Act 1, Scene 2, The King's Camp. Enter King Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain with attendants, meeting a bleeding captain.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt, the newest state.
This is the sergeant, who like a good and hardy soldier fought gainst my captivity. Hail, brave friend. Say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a rebel, for to that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him, from the western isles of kerns and gallow-glasses is supplied. And fortune on his damned quarrel, smiling, showed like a rebel's whore. But all's too weak for brave Macbeth. Well he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution, like Valor's minion carved out his passage till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands, nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chops, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
O valiant cousin, worthy gentleman!
As whence the sun gins his reflection, shipwrecking storms and direful thunders, so from that spring whence comfort seemed to come, discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, mark. No sooner justice had, with valour armed, compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Norwegian lord, surveying vantage with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
Yes, as sparrow eagles, or the hair of the lion. If I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons overcharged with double cracks, so they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe, except they meant to bathe in reeking wounds or memorize another Golgotha. I cannot tell, but I am faint. My gashes cry for help.
So well thy words become thee as thy wounds. They smack of honour both. Go get him surgeons.
Exit captain with the help of other soldiers.
Who comes here?
Enter Ross.
The worthy Thane of Ross.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict, till that Bellona's bridegroom lapped in proof confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curving his lavish spirit, and to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness.
That now Sweno there, Norway's king, craves composition, nor would we deign him burial of his men, till he dispersed at St. Colm's inch $10,000 to our general use.
No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce him present death, and with his former title greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Act 1, Scene 3, The Heath. Thunder. Enter the three witches.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
A drum is heard not so far off.
A drum! A drum! Macbeth doth come!
Enter Macbeth and Banquo.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How far is called to foray? What are these? So withered and so wild in their attire, they look like not the inhabitants of earth, and yet are on it. Live you, or are you aught that man may question? You seem to understand me by at once her chopping finger leaving upon her skinny lips. You should be women, and yet your beards forbid me to intercept that you are so.
Speak, if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis.
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that Do sound so fair. In the name of truth, are ye fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly ye show? My noble partner you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and royal hope, that he seems rapt withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak to me then. Nor neither beg nor fear your failure nor your hate.
Hail,
Hail!
Hail.
lesser than Macbeth, and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
Stay, you imperfect speakers. Tell me more. By Sinel's death I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why, upon this blasted heath, you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you.
The witches vanish.
The earth hath bubbles as the water has. Are these of them, whither they are vanished?
Into the air. What seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed.
Were such things here as we do speak about? Or have we eaten on the insane route that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too. Weren't it not so?
To the self-same tune and words. Who's there?
Enter Ross.
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success, and when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' fight, his wonders and his praises do contend which should be thine or his. Silenced with that, in viewing over the rest of the self-same day, he finds thee in the stout Norwegian ranks, nothing afeard of what thyself didst make, strange images of death. As thick as tale came post with post, and every one did bear thy praises in his kingdom's great defence, and poured them down before him. And for an earnest of a greater honour, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition, hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What, can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. But why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose.
And Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is mine. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That trusted home might yet enkindle you unto the crown, besides the Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange. Enough times to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truth. Win us with honest trifles, to betray us in deepest consequence. Cousin's a word, I pray you.
Two truths are told, as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. Cannot be ill. Cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make me my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man that function is smothered in the surmise, and nothing is but what is not.
Look how our partner's wrapped.
If chance will have me king, why chance may crown me without my stir.
New honours come upon him, like our strange garments cleave not to their mould, but with the aid of use.
Come what may, time and hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favour. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered, where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Let us towards the king. Think upon what hath chanced, and at more time, the interim having weighed it, let us speak our free hearts to each other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends.
Act 1, Scene 4, The King's Palace. Enter King Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain, and attendants.
Is execution done on Cawdor, or not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back, but I have spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like the leaving it. He died as one that had been studied in his death to throw away the dearest thing he owed, as 'twere a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust.
Enter Macbeth, Banquo, and Ross.
O worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now was heavy on me. Thou art so far before that fairest, swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Would thou hadst less deserved, that the proportion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your highness's part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state, children and servants, which do but what they should by doing everything safe towards your love and honour.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee and will labour to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, that hast no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
Ere if I grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest, know we will establish our state upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honour must, not unaccompanied invest him only, but signs of nobleness, like stars, shall shine on all deservers, from hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labour, which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger, and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down, or else a leap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
Macbeth exits.
True, worthy Banquo. He is full so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him, whose care is gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman.
Act 1, Scene 5. Macbeth's Castle. Enter Lady Macbeth reading a letter.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report, they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air, into which they vanished. Whiles I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me, and referred me to the coming on of time with hail, King that shalt be. This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thy heart promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. Is it too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way? Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily. Wouldst not play false, and yet would wrongly win. Thou'dst have great Glamis, that which cries, thus thou must do if thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do than wishes should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour thy spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valour of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal.
Enter Messenger.
What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou'rt mad to say it. Is not thy master with him? Who wert so would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who, almost dead for breath, had scarcely more than would make up his message.
Give him tending. He brings great news.
Exit messenger.
The raven himself is hoarse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctuous visitings of nature shall shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breast and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of dark to cry, hold, hold.
Enter Macbeth.
Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all-hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in an instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Oh, tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days give solely sovereign and away masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favour ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
They both exit. Act 5, Scene 6. Outside Macbeth's castle. Enter Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain, Banquo, Macduff, Ross, and attendants.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
Enter Lady Macbeth.
See, our honoured hostess. The love that follows us sometime is our trouble, which still we thank as love. Herein I teach you how you shall bid God yield us for your pains, and thank us for your trouble.
All our service, in every point twice done and then done double, we're poor and single business to contend against those honours deep and broad wherewith your majesty loads our house. For those of old, and the late dignities heaped up to them, we rest your hermits.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? You caused him at the heels, and had a purpose to be his purveyor. But he rides well, and his great love, sharp as his spur, hath holp him to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight.
Your servants ever have theirs, themselves and what is theirs, in compt to make their audit at your highness's pleasure, still to return your own.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
Act 1, Scene 7, Macbeth's castle. Servants with dishes pass over the stage as others prepare for the feast. Enter Macbeth.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well if it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with its surceased success, that by this blow might be the be-all and the end-all. Here, but here upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions, which, being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust, First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then, as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife himself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his facilities so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued, against the deep damnation of his taking off. And pity, like a naked newborn babe, striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim, horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other.
Enter Lady Macbeth.
How now? What news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Had he asked for me?
Know you not he has.
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honoured me of late, and I've bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since, and wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeared to be the same in thine own act and valour as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that thou esteemed the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the adage?
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast what's then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man, and to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked the nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail?
We fail. But screw your courage to the sticking place and will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him? To his two chamberlains will I with wine and wassail so convince that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lie as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men children only, for thy undaunted metal should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his chamber and used their very daggers, that they have done it?
Who dares receive it other? As we shall make our griefs and clamour roar upon his death.
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest shows. Fool's face must hide what the fool's heart doth know.
Act 2, Scene 1. The courtyard of Macbeth's castle. Enter Banquo and Fleance, bearing a torch before him.
How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down. I have not heard the clock.
And she goes down at 12.
I take it is later, sir.
Hold, take my sword. There's husbandry in heaven. Their candles are out. Take thee that too. A heavy summon lies like lead upon me. And yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers restrain me in the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to repose.
Enter Macbeth.
Give me my sword. Who's there?
A friend.
What, sir? Not yet at rest. The king's abed. He hath been in unusual pleasure, and sent forth great largesse to your offices. All's well. I dreamt last night of the three wayward sisters. To you they have showed some truth.
I think not of them. Yet when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
If you shall cleave to my consent when 'tis, it shall make honour for you.
So I lose none in seeking to augment it, but still keep my boss enfranchised and allegiance clear. I shall be counselled.
Good repose the while.
Thanks. Sir, the like to you.
Exit Banquo and Fleance.
Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle towards my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation, proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshallest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on my blade and dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now o'er the one half world nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabouts, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Whiles I threat, he lives, words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives.
A bell rings.
I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
Exit Macbeth. Act 2, Scene 2, within Macbeth's castle. Enter Lady Macbeth.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark! Peace! It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman which gives the sterns good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Macbeth is heard from within.
Who's there? What ho?
Alack, I am afraid they have awakened, and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark, I laid their daggers ready, he could not miss them. Has he not resembled my father as he slept? I had done't.
Enter Macbeth with 2 bloody daggers.
My husband.
I have done the deed. Dost thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended.
Aye.
Hark. Who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
This is a sorry sight.
Oh, a foolish thing to say, a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in sleep, and one cried murder. That they did wake each other, I stood and heard them. But they did say their prayers and address them again to sleep.
They are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen the other. As they had seen me with these hangman hands, listening their fear, I could not say amen, when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could I not pronounce amen? I had most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep, the innocent sleep, sleep that knits up the ravelled sleeve of care, the death of each day's life. Sore labour's bath, balm of hurt minds, great nature's second course, chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still it cried sleep no more. To all the house, Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly of things. Go get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go and carry and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I am afraid to think what I have done. Look on again, I dare not.
On firm of purpose, give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Exit Lady Macbeth. A knocking is heard.
Whence is that knocking? How is it with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are here? They pluck out mine eyes. With all great Neptune's ocean, watch this blood clean from my hands? No. This my hand will rather the multitudinous seas in Encarden making the green one red.
Re-enter Lady Macbeth.
My hands are of your colour, but I shame to wear a heart so white.
A knocking is heard.
I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy is it then? Your constancy hath left you unattended.
A knocking is heard.
Hark, more knocking. Get on your nightgown, lest occasion call us and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not to know myself.
A knocking is heard.
Wake Duncan with thy knocking. I would thou couldst.
They exit. Act 2, Scene 3. The courtyard of Macbeth's castle. Knocking. Enter a porter.
Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hellgate, he should have hold the turning key.
Knock.
Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Here's a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Oh, come in time. Have napkins enough about you. Here, you'll sweat for it.
Knock.
Knock, knock. Who's there in the other devil's name? Faith, here's an equivocator that could swear in both the scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator.
Knock.
Knock, knock, never a quiet. What are you? But this place is too cold for hell. I'll devil porter it no further. I had thought to have let in some of all professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire.
Knock.
And on, and on. I pray you, remember the porter.
Porter opens the gate. Enter Macduff.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were carousing till the second cock. And drink, sir, is a great provoker of three things.
What three things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir, nose painting, sleep, and urine. Lechery, sir, it provokes and unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but it takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It makes him and it mars him. It sets him on and it takes him off. It persuades him and disheartens him. Makes him stand to and not stand to. In conclusion, equivocates him in a sleep and giving him the lie, leaves him.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
That it did, sir. He the very throat on me. But I requited him for his lie, and I think, being too strong for him, though he took up my legs sometimes, yet I made a shift to cast him out.
Is thy master stirring?
Enter Macbeth.
Our knocking has awaked him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy Thane?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I have almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know this is a joyful trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The labour we delight in physics pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Macduff exits.
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint so.
Exit Porter. Re-enter Macduff.
Oh, horror! 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 Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke open the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
I mean, you, his majesty.
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new Gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See and then speak yourselves.
Exit Macbeth.
Awake! Awake! Ring the alarm bell! Murder and treason! Banquo and Donalbain! Malcolm, awake! Shake off this downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look on death itself. Up, up, and see the great doom's image. Malcolm, Banquo, as from your graves, rise up and wake like sprites to countenance this horror. Ring the bell!
Bell rings. Enter Lady Macbeth.
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak!
Oh,
Speak!
gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell.
Enter Banquo.
Oh, Banquo, our royal master's murdered.
Oh, alas, what in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear Duff, I prithee, contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Re-enter Macbeth.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant, there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere lease is left this vault to brag of.
Enter Malcolm and Donalbain.
What is amiss?
You do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
Oh, by whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces were unbadged with blood, so were their daggers, which unwiped we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury, that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who could be wise, amazed, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition, my violent love, outrun the pauser, reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gashed stabs looked like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. There the murderers, steeped in the colours of their trade, their daggers unmannily breached with gore. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make love known?
Help me henceforth.
Lady Macbeth faints.
Look to the lady.
Malcolm pulls Donalbain aside.
Why do we hold our tongues, that most may claim this argument for ours?
What should be spoken here? We're our fate. Hide in an auger hole, may Russian seize us. Let's away, our tears are not yet brewed.
Not our strong sorrow upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady.
Lady Macbeth is carried out.
And when we have our naked frailties hid that suffer in exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work. To know it further, fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the indivulged pretence I fight of treasonous malice.
And so do I.
So all. Let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Exit all but Malcolm and Donalbain.
What will you do? Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easy. All to England.
To Ireland I. Our separate fortune shall keep us both the safer where we are. There's daggers in men's smiles. The nearer in blood, the nearer bloody.
This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse, and let us not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft which steals itself when there's no mercy left.
Act 2, Scene 4, outside Macbeth's castle. Enter Ross and an old man.
70 I can remember well, within the volume of which time I have seen hours dreadful and things strange, but this sore night hath trifled former knowings.
Good father, thou seest the heavens as troubled with man's act, threaten his bloody stage by the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the travelling lamp. Is it night's predominance or the day's shame that darkness does the face of earth entomb, when living light should kiss it?
'Tis unnatural, even like the deed that's done. On Tuesday last, a falcon, towering in her pride of place, was by a mousing owl hawked at and killed.
And Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain, beauteous and swift, the minions of their race, turned wild in nature, broke their stalls, flung out, contending against obedience, as they would make war with mankind.
'Tis said they eat each other.
It did so, to the amazement of mine eyes that looked upon it. Here comes the good Macduff.
Enter Macduff.
How goes the world, sir, now?
Why, see you not?
Is it known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth hath slain.
Alas the day, what good could they pretend?
They were suborned. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's two kin, are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them the suspicion of the deed.
Against nature still, thriftless ambition that will raven up thine own life's means. Then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named, and gone to Scone to be invested.
Where's Duncan's body?
Carried to Colmkill, the sacred storehouse of his predecessors and guardian of their bones.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin, I'll to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu. Lest our old robes sit easier than our new.
Farewell, father.
God's benison go with you, and with those that would make good of bad and friends of foes.
Act 3, Scene 1, King Macbeth's castle. Enter Banquo.
Thou hast it now. King, Cawdor, Glamis, all, as the wayward women promised. And I fear thou'st played most foully fought. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that my shelf should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine. Why, by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well? Set me up in hope. But hush, no more.
Enter Macbeth, now king. Lady Macbeth as queen. Ross, lords, ladies, and attendants.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast, an all thing unbecoming.
Tonight, we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to which my duties are with a most undissoluble tie, forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We should have else desired your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's council. But we'll take tomorrow. Is far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill up the time. Twist this and supper, go not my horse the better. I must become a borrower of the night for a dark hour or twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We here, our bloody cousins, are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, when withal we shall have cause of state craving us jointly. Tie your horse. Adieu, till you return at night. Go Fleance with you.
Aye, my good lord. Our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell.
Exit Banquo.
Let every man be master of his time, till 7 at night, to make society the sweeter welcome. We will keep ourselves till supper time alone. Well then, God be with you.
Exit all but Macbeth and an attendant.
Sirrah, a word with you. Attend those men our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us.
Exit attendant.
To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus, our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind, he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valour to act in safety. There is none but he, whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked, as it is said Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren sceptre in my grip, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them the gracious Duncan have I murdered, put rancours in the vessel of my peace, only for them, and my eternal jewel given to the common enemy of man, to make them kings, the seed of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come fate into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there?
Re-enter attendant with 2 murderers.
Now, go to the door, and stay there till we call.
Exit attendant.
Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then, have you considered my speeches? Know that it was he in the times past which held you so under fortune, which thought had been our innocent self. This I made good to you in our last conference. Passed in probation with you how you were born in hand, how crossed the instruments who wrought upon them, and all things else that might to half a soul and to a notion craze say, thus did Banquo.
You made it known to us.
I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gespelled to pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy hand hath bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever?
We are men, my liege.
Aye, in the catalogue ye go for men, as hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, chows, water-rugs, and demi-wolves are clept, all by the name of dogs. The value file distinguishes the swift, the slow, the subtle, the housekeeper, the hunter, every one according to the gift which bounteous nature hath in him closed, whereby he does receive particular additions from the bill that writes them all alike. And so of men. Now, if you have a station in the file, not in the worst rank of manhood, say it, and I will put that business in your bosoms, whose execution takes your enemy off. Grapple you to the heart and love of us, who wear our health but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world have so incensed that I am reckless what I do despite the world.
And I another, so weary with disasters, tugged with fortune, that I would set my lie on any chance, to mend it or be rid on it.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine, and in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life. And though I could, with barefaced power, sweep him from my sight, and bid him will avouch it, yet I must not, for certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop, but wail his fall, who I myself struck down. And thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Though our lives...
Your spirits shine through you. Within this hour at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves, acquaint you with the perfect spy of the time, the moment on it, for it must be done tonight, and something from the palace, always thought that I require a clearness, and with him to leave no rubs nor botches in the work. Fleance's son, that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon you straight. Abide within.
Exit murderers.
It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find out tonight.
Exit Macbeth. Act 3, Scene 2. The Palace. Enter Lady Macbeth and an attendant.
Is Banquo gone from court?
Aye, madam, but returns again tonight.
Say to the king I would attend his leisure for a few words.
Madam, I will.
Exit attendant.
Not had, all spent, where our desire is got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy.
Enter Macbeth.
How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died, with them they think on? Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whilst our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. But let the frame of things disjoint. Both the worlds suffer, ere we will eat our meal in fear, and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we, to gain our peace, have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst. Nor steel, nor poison, malice domestic, foreign, levy, nothing can touch him further.
Come on, my gentle lord, sleek o'er your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love, and so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence both with eye and tongue. Unsafe the while that we must lave our honours in these flattering streams and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and his Fleance lives.
But in them nature's copies not etern.
That's comfort yet. They are assailable. Then be thou jocund. Ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, ere to black Hecate's summons the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums hath run night's yawning peal, there shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens, and the crow makes wing to the rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, while night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvellest at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So prithee go with me.
Act 3, Scene 3. A forest in the palace. Enter two murderers.
The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day. Now spurs the late traveller apace to gain the timely inn, and near approaches the subject of our watch.
Hark! I hear horses.
Give us a light there. Ho!
Then 'tis he.
Then see the rest that are within the note of expectation already are at the court.
His horses. Go about.
A light.
Enter Banquo and Fleance.
'Tis he.
Stand to it.
It will be rain tonight.
Let it come down.
The two murderers attack Banquo.
Oh, treachery! Fly, good Fleance, fly, fly, fly! Thou mayst revenge! Oh, slave!
Banquo dies, but Fleance is able to escape.
There's but one down. The sun is fled.
We have lost best half of our fare.
Well, let's away and say how much is done.
Act 3, Scene 4. The palace's banquet hall. A banquet prepared. Enter Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, Ross, lords and attendants.
You know your own degrees. Sit down. At first and last, a hearty welcome. Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends. From my heart speaks they are welcome.
The first murderer appears at the door.
See they encounter thee with their hearts' thanks. Both sides are even. Here I'll sit in the midst, be large in mirth. Anon we'll drink and measure the table round.
Macbeth approaches the door.
There's blood on thy face.
'Tis Banquo's then.
'Tis better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like for Fleance. If thou didst, thou art the non-apparel.
Most royal sir, Fleance escaped.
Then come my fit again. I had else been perfect, who, as the marble founded as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air, but now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound in the saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo's safe.
Aye, my good lord. Safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 trenched gashes on his head. The last, a death to nature.
Thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies, the worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed. No teeth for the present. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
Exit the murderer.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is sold, that it is not often vouched, while 'tis a making 'tis given with welcome. To feed we're best at home. From thence the sauce to meat is ceremony. Meeting were bare without it.
Good, a sweet remembrance, sir. Now, good digestion waits on appetite, and health on both.
May it please your highness, sit.
The ghost of Banquo enters and sits in Macbeth's place.
Here had we now our country's honour roofed, were the grace person of our Banquo present, who may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please it your highness to grace us with your royal company?
All the table's full.
Here is a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is it that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory looks at me.
Gentlemen, rise, his highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus, and hath been since from his youth. Pray you keep seat. The fit is momentary. Upon a thought, he again will be well. If must you note him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Feed, and regard him not.
Lady Macbeth pulls Macbeth aside.
Are you a man?
Aye, and a bold one that dare look on that, which might have pulled the devil.
Oh, proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, these flaws and starts, impostors to true fear, would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire, authorised by her grandam. Shame itself. Why do you make such faces? When all's done, you look on but a stool.
Prithee, see there. Behold, look low. How say you? Why, what care I if thou canst nod? Speak too. If chamel houses and our graves must send those that we bury back, our monuments shall be the moors of kites.
The ghost of Banquo vanishes.
What? Quite unmanned in folly?
If I stand here, I saw him.
Fie for shame!
Blood hath been shed in now. In the olden time, ere human statute purged the gentle wheel. Aye, and since too, murders have been performed too terrible for the ear. The times have been that when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. But now they rise again with 20 mortal murders on their crowns and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
Oh, I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all. Then I'll sit down. Give me some wine. Fill full. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to my dear friend Banquo, whom we miss, would he were here. To all and him we thirst, and to all.
Our duties in the pledge.
Re-enter the ghost of Banquo.
Avaunt and quit my sight. Let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom. 'Tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
What man dare? I dare.
The ghost of Banquo vanishes.
Why, being gone, I am man again. Pray you, sit still.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with this most admired disorder.
Can such things be, and overcome us like a summer's cloud without our special wonder? You make me strange even to the disposition that I owe, when now I think you can behold such sights and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks, when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, be go at once.
Good night, and better health attend his majesty.
A kind good night to all.
Exit all but Macbeth and Lady Macbeth.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have by maggot pies and chows and rooks brought forth the secrets man of blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning, which is which.
How sayest thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way, but I will send. There is not a one of them but in his house. I keep a servant feed. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will, to the wayward sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know, by the worst means, the worst. For mine own good, and all causes shall give way. I am in blood, stepped in so far that, should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as going over. Strange things I have in head, that will go to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Come, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young indeed.
There will now be a 10-minute intermission.
Yay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so 10 minutes. So we'll be back at 2:20. The stream will keep running. We'll just all kind of return at 2:20 for Act 4 and 5.
Not showing on there yet.
I was told my lighting wasn't good enough, so we've set up a lovely bar of blindness right here. So if I look up, I can't see anything. But apparently, it means that my face can be seen nicer. Yeah.
Are we ready for Act 4?
I think we're just waiting for everyone to arrive back. I think everyone can just turn their cameras on for this start here of Act, like, so that we know where everyone is. We know if anyone wants to give a quick recap for anyone who's joining us now. What's happened? What's happened so far? Somebody just jump in. Tell us what's happened.
People died.
And that's all you need to know. Who are we waiting for? We're waiting for our Banquo, who's now dead, and our Duncan, who's now dead. But yeah, no, Liam, you are correct. The what's happened is people died. Is Lucy talking? Because she's muted, so it's just.
I'm just for myself. I'm just catching myself up. You know, just saying everyone's dead. Everyone's dead. It's a good time. Yep.
I think are we all? Is this us all rejoined? All
You all met.
Are we all there? Yep. I was trying to think of the quote, and you got it. Are we ready to go for Act 4? We've given. It's now 1 minute past 2:20. So.
Act 4, Scene 1. A cavern. Thunder. Enter the three witches.
Double.
Toil
and trouble.
Fire burn.
Fire
burn, and cauldron bubble.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks.
Enter Macbeth.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is't you do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you, by that which you profess, howe'er you come to know it. Answer me. Though you untie the winds and let them fight against the churches, though the yeasty waves confound and swallow navigation up, though bladed corn be lodged and trees blown down, though castles toppled on their warders' heads, though palaces and pyramids do slope their heads to their foundations, though the treasure of nature's Germans tumble all together, even till destruction sicken, answer me to what I ask you.
Speak.
Demand.
We'll answer.
Thunder.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Beware Macduff. Beware the Thane of Fife.
Whate'er thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright, but one word more.
Thunder.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth.
Had I 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live Macduff. What need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure, and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder.
Thunder.
Be lion-mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be until great Burnham wood to high Dunsinane hill shall come against him.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest to bid the tree unfix his earthbound root? Sweet bondament, good. Rebellion dead, rise never till the wood of Burnham rise. And our high-placed Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if you art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know.
Show.
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 Show his
Show
Oh,
eyes.
his eyes and
leave
his heart.
Come
Come
like
like shadows.
shadows.
so
depart.
depart.
A show of 8 kings, the last with a glass in his hand, with the ghost of Banquo following.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down! Thou, thy crown does sear mine eyeballs, and thy hair, thy other gold-bound brow is like the first, a third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? The fourth, start, eyes. What, will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet, a seventh. I'll see no more, and yet the eighth appears, who bears a glass which shows me many more. And some I see that twofolds balls and tremble sceptres carry. Horrible sight, now I see 'tis true. For the blood-bolted Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his.
The apparitions vanish.
What? Is this so?
Aye, sir, all this is so. But why stands Macbeth thus amazedly? Come, sisters, cheery up his spirits, and show him the best of our delights. I'll charm the air to give a sound, while you perform your antic round, that this great king may kindly say, our duties did his welcome pay.
Music. The witches dance and then vanish.
What are they? Gone? Let this pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. Come in, without there.
Enter attendant.
What your graces will?
Saw you the wayward sisters?
No, my lord.
Came them not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I did they hear the galloping of a horse. Who came by?
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word. Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
Time, thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighting purpose never is o'ertook, unless the deed go with it. From this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And even now, to crown my thoughts with axe, be it thought and done, the castle of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon Fife, give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool, this deed I'll do before this purpose cool, but no more sights. Where are these gentlemen? Come, bring me to where they are.
They exit. Act 4, Scene 2, Macduff's castle. Enter Lady Macduff, her son, and Ross.
What has he done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom? To leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion and his titles in a place, from whence himself does fly. He loves us not. He wants the natural touch. For the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, will fight her young ones in her nest against the owl. All is the fear, and nothing is the love. As little is the wisdom where the flight so runs against all reason.
My dearest cuz, I pray you school yourself. But for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves, when we hold rumour from what we fear, yet know not what we fear, but float upon a wild and violent sea each way and none. I take my leave of you. Shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at the worst will cease, or else climb upward to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
Fathered he is, and yet he's fatherless.
I am so much a fool. Should I stay longer? It would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I'll take my leave at once.
Exit Ross.
Sirrah, your father's dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, mother.
What with worms and flies?
With what I get, I mean, and so do they.
Poor bird. Thou didst never fear the net nor lime, the pitfall nor the gin.
Why should I, mother? Poor birds, they are not set for. My father is not dead, for all you are saying.
Yes, he is dead. How wilt thou do for a father?
Nay, how will you do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
Then you'll buy him to sell again.
Thou speak'st with all thy wit, and yet I fear'th with wit enough for thee.
Was my father a traitor, mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Every one that does so is a traitor, and must be hanged.
And must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Every one.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Then the lies and the swearers are fools, for there are lies and swearers enough to beat the honest men and hang up them.
My God help thee, poor monkey. But how wilt thou do for a father?
If he were dead, you weep for him. If you would not, it were a good sign that I should quickly have a new father.
Poor prattler, how thou talkst.
Enter a messenger.
Bless you, fair dame, I am not to you known, though in your state of honour I am perfect. I doubt some danger does approach you nearly. If you will take a homely man's advice, be not found here. Hence with your little ones, to fright you thus, methinks, I am too savage, to do you too worse, your foul cruelty, which is too nigh your person. Heaven preserve you, I dare abide no longer.
Exit messenger.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm, but I remember now. I am in this earthly world where to do harm is often laudable, to do good sometime accounted dangerous folly. Why then, alas, do I put up this womanly defence to say I have done no harm?
Enter murderers.
What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayst find him.
He's a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shagged villain.
What? You egg! Young fry of treachery!
First murderer stabs Macduff's son.
He has killed me, mother. Run away, I pray you.
Macduff's son dies. Exit Lady Macduff crying, "Murder!" Exit murderers following her. Act 4, Scene 3. Outside the English King's palace. Enter Malcolm and Macduff.
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there we pass soured bosoms empty.
Let us rather hold fast the mortal sword, and like good men bestride our downfall and birthdom. Each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face. Let it resound as if it were felt with Scotland and yelled out like syllable of dolor.
What I believe, I'll wail. What know, believe. And what I can redress, as I shall find the time to friend I will. What you have spoke, it may be so perchance. This tyrant, whose sole name blisters our tongues, was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may discern of him through me, and wisdom to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry God.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge, but I shall crave your pardon. That which you are my thought cannot transpose. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell. Though all things foul would wear the brows of grace, yet grace must still look so.
I have lost all hopes.
Perchance, even there where I did find my doubts, why in that rawness left you wife and child, those precious motives, those strong knots of love without leave taking? I pray you, let not my jealousies be your dishonours, but mine own safeties. You may be rightly just whatever I shall think.
Bleed, bleed, poor country. Great tyranny, lay thou thy basest shore, for goodness dare not check thee. Wear thou thy wrongs. The title is afeard. Fare thee well, lord. I would not be the villain that thou think'st for the whole space that's in the tyrant's grasp, and the rich East to boot.
Be not offended. I speak not in absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think withal there would be hands uplifted in my right. And here, from gracious England, have I offer of goodly thousands. But for all this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head, or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, more suffer and more sundry ways than ever. By him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself, I mean, in whom I know all particulars of vice so grafted, that, when they shall be opened, black Macbeth will seem as pure as snow, and the poor state esteem him as a lamb, being compared with confineless harms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malice, smacking of every sin that has a name, but there no bottom, none. In my voluptuousness, your wives, your daughters, your matrons, and your maids could not fill up the cistern of my love and my desire. All continent impediments would o'erbear that did oppose my will. Better Macbeth than such a one to reign.
Boundless intemperance in nature is a tyranny. It hath been the untimely emptying of the happy throne and fall of many kings. But fear not yet to take upon you what is yours. You may convey your pleasures in a spacious plenty and yet seem cold. The time you may so hoodwink, we have willing dames enough. There cannot be that vulture in you to devour so many as to greatness dedicate themselves, finding it so inclined.
With this there grows in my most ill-composed affection such as stanchless avarice that were I king, I should cut off the nobles for their lands, desire his jewels and this other's house, and my more having would be as a source to make me hunger more, that I should forge quarrels unjust against the good and loyal, destroying them for wealth.
This avarice sticks deeper, grows with more pernicious root than summer seeming lust, and it hath been the sword of our slain kings. Yet do not fear. Scotland hath foisons to fill up your will of your mere own. All these are possible with other graces weighed.
But I have none. The king becoming graces as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, lowliness, devotion, patience, courage, fortitude. I have no relish of them, but abound in the divisions of each several crime, acting in many ways. Nay, had I power, I should pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth.
Scotland!
If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live. O nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant, bloody sceptred. And when shalt thou see thy holy, wholesome days again? Since that the truest issue of thy throne by his own interdiction stands accused and does blaspheme his breed. Thy royal father was a most sainted king, the queen that bore thee, of not on her knees than on her feet, died every day she lived. Fare thee well. These evils thou repeatst upon thyself have banished me from England. O my breast, thy hope ends here.
Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honour. Devilish Macbeth by many of these trains hath sought to win me into his power, and modest wisdom plucks me from over credulous haste. But God above deal between thee and me, for even now I put myself to thy direction, and unspeak mine own detraction, here abjure the taints and blames I laid upon myself. For strangers to my nature, I am yet unknown to women, never was forsworn, scarcely have coveted what was mine own. At no time broke my faith, would not betray the devil to his fellow, and delight no less in truth than life. My first false speaking was this upon myself. What I am truly is thine, and my poor country's to command. Whither, indeed, before thy here approach, old seaward, with 10,000 warlike men already at a point was setting forth, now will together, and the chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once, 'tis hard to reconcile.
Enter Ross.
See who comes here.
My countryman, yet I know him not.
My ever gentle cousin. Welcome hither.
I know him now. Good God, betimes remove the means that make us strangers.
Amen.
Stands Scotland where it did?
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother but our grave, where nothing but who knows nothing is once seen to smile, where sighs and groans and shrieks that rend the air are made, not marked, where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy. The dead man's knell is there, scarce asked for who, and good men's lives expire before the flowers in their caps, dying or ere they sicken.
A relation too nice and yet too true.
What's the newest grief?
That of an hour's age doth kiss the speaker. Each minute seems a new one.
How does my wife?
Why, well.
And all my children?
Well too.
The tyrant has not battered at their peace.
No, they were well at peace when I did leave them.
But not a miser in your speech. How goes it?
When I came hither to transport the tidings, which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumour of many worthy fellows that were out, which was to my belief witnessed the rather, for that I saw the tyrant's power afoot. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight to doff their dire distresses.
Be it their comfort, we are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us good seaward and 10,000 men. An older and better soldier none than Christian Dunn gives out.
Would I could answer this comfort with a light. But I have words that would be howled out in the desert air, where hearing should not latch them.
What concern they? The general cause? Or is it a fee grief due to some single breast?
No mind that's honest, but in it shares some woe, though the main part pertains to you alone.
If it be mine, keep it not from me, quickly let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard.
I guess at it.
Your castle is surprised, your wife and babes savagely slaughtered. To relate the manner were, on the quarry of these murdered deer, to add the death of you.
Merciful heaven, what man ne'er pull your hat upon your brows? Give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers the o'er-fraught heart and bids it break.
My children too.
My children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence. My wife killed too.
I have said.
Be comforted. Let's make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children. All my pretty ones. Did you say all? Oh, hell, kite, all! All my pretty chickens and their dam all at one fell swoop.
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so, but I must first feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part, sinful Macduff? They were all struck for thee. Naught that I am, not for their own demerits, but for mine, fell slaughter on their souls. Heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Blunt not the heart, enrage it.
Oh, I could play the woman with mine eyes and braggart with my tongue, but gentle heavens, cut all intermission. Front to front, bring thou this fiend of Scotland and myself. Within my sword's length set him. If he scape, heaven forgive him too.
This tune goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
Act 5, Scene 1. A chamber in Macbeth's castle. Enter a doctor and a waiting gentlewoman.
I have 2 nights watched with you, but can perceive no truth in your report. When was it she last walked?
Since his majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. Yet all this whilst in a most fast sleep.
A great perturbation in nature to receive at once the benefit of sleep and do the effects of watching them. In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and other actual performances, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You may to me, and 'tis most meet you should.
Neither to you nor anyone, having no witness to confirm my speech.
Enter Lady Macbeth with a taper.
Lo, you, here she comes. This is her very guise, and upon my life, fast asleep. Observe her, stand close.
You see her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense is shut.
What is it she does now? Look, how she rubs her hands.
It is an accustomed action with her to seem thus washing her hands. I have known her to continue in this a quarter of an hour.
Yet here's a spot.
Hark, she speaks, and I will set down what comes from her to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly.
Out, damned spot, out, I say. 1, 2. Why then, 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie, a soldier, and afeard. What need we fear who knows it, when none can call our power to account? Yet who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him?
You mark that?
The Thane of Fife had a wife, where is she now? What will these hands ne'er be clean? No more of that, my lord, no more of that. You mar all with this starting.
Go to, you have known what you should not.
She has spoke what she should not, I'm sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
Here's this smell of the blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh, oh, oh!
The sigh is there, the heart is shut. The heart is sorely charged.
I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well, well, well.
Oh, pray God it be, sir.
This disease is beyond my practice. Yet I have known those which have walked in their sleep, who have died holily in their beds.
Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out on his grave.
And so?
To bed. To bed. There's knocking at the gate. Come, 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 come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed, to bed, to bed.
Exit Lady Macbeth.
Will she go now to bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds to their deaf pillows will discharge their secrets. More needs she the divine than the physician. God forgive us all. Look after her. Remove from her the means of all annoyance, and still keep eyes upon her. So, good night. My mind she has mated, and amazed my sight. I think, but dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
Act 5, Scene 3. A room in the castle. Enter Macbeth and attendants.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. Till Birnam Wood removed Dunsinane, I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. Then fly, false thanes, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by, and the heart I bear, shall never sag with doubt nor shake with fear.
Enter attendant.
Ah, thy devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon. Where gotst thou that goose look?
There is 10,000.
Geese, villain?
Soldiers, sir.
Ah, go prick thy face and overread thy fear, thou lily-livered boy. What soldiers, Patch? Death of thy soul. Those linen cheeks of thine are counsellors to fear. What soldiers, Wayface?
The English force, so please you.
Ah, take thy face hence.
Exit attendant.
Ah, Seyton! I am sick at heart when I behold Seyton, I say. This push will cheer me ever or deceit me now. I've lived long enough. My way of life is fallen into the sere, the yellow leaf, and that which should accompany old age. As honour, love, obedience, troops of friends I must not look to have, but in their stead curses, not loud but deep, mouth honour, breath, which the poor heart could fain deny and dare not. Seyton!
Enter Seyton.
What is your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me my armour.
It is not needed yet.
I'll put it on. Send out more horses. Skirt the country round. Hang those that talk of fear. Give me mine armour.
Enter doctor.
How does your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick common fancies that keep her from rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased? Pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow, raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet oblivious antidote cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart.
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Ah, throw physic to the dogs. I'll none of it. Come, put mine armour on, give me my stuff. Seyton, send out. Doctor, the thane flies from me. Come, sir, dispatch. If thou couldst, doctor, cast the water of my land, find her disease, and purge it to a sound and pristine health. I would applaud thee to the very echo that should applaud again. Pull it off, I say. What rhubarb, cyme, or what purgative drug would scour these English hence? Hearest thou of them?
Aye, my good lord, and the royal preparation makes us hear something.
Bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death and bane till Birnam Wood forest come to Dunsinane.
Were I from Dunsinane away and clear, profit again should hardly draw me here.
They exit. Act 5, Scene 4. Countryside near Birnam Wood. Drum and colours. Enter Malcolm, Syward, and the young Syward, Macduff, Ross, and soldiers marching.
What wood is this before us?
The wood of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host and make discovery ere in report of us.
It shall be done.
We learn no other but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane, and will endure our setting down before it.
'Tis his main hope. For where there is advantage to be given, both more and less have given him the revolt. And none serve with him but constrained things whose heart are absent too.
Let our just censures attend the true event and put me on industrious soldiership.
The time approaches. that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe. Thoughts speculative, their unsure hopes relate, but certain issue stroke must arbitrate, towards which advance the war.
Act 5, Scene 5. Within the castle, enter Macbeth, Seyton, and soldiers with drum and colours.
Hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still they come. Our castle strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Here let them lie, till famine and the ague you eat them up. Were they not forced with those that should be ours? We might have met them dareful, beard to beard, and beat them backward home.
A cry of women is heard from within.
What is that noise?
It is the cry of women, my good lord.
Exit Seyton.
I've almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been, my senses would have called to hear a night shriek, and my fell of hair would at a dismal treatsy rouse and stir as life were in it. I have supped full with horrors. Direness, familiar to my slaughterous thoughts, cannot once start me.
Re-enter Seyton.
Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted falls the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Enter a messenger.
Thou comest to use thy tongue? Thy story quickly.
Gracious my lord, I should report that which I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand and watch upon the hill, I looked towards Burnham, and I normally thought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave.
Let me endure your wrath if it be not so. Within this 3 mile, may you see it coming. I see a moving grove.
If thou speaks false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive, till famine cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if thou dost for me as much. I pull in resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not till Burnham wood do come to Dunsinane. And now a wood comes towards Dunsinane. Arm, and out. If this which he avouches does appear, there is nor flying hence nor tarrying here. I gin to be aweary of the sun, and wish the estate or the world were now undone. Ring the alarum bell. Blow, wind. Come, rack. At least we'll die with harness on our back.
Act 5, Scene 6. Before the castle. Enter Malcolm, Seaward, Macduff, and their army with boughs.
Now near enough your leafy screens throw down, and show like those you are. You, worthy uncle, shall with my cousin, your right noble son, lead our first battle, worthy Macduff. Worthy Macduff and we shall take upon what else remains to do, according to our order.
Make all our trumpets speak. Give them all breath, those clamorous harbingers of blood and death.
Act 5, Scene 7. Another part of the field. Enter Macbeth.
They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear-like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one am I to fear, or none.
Exit Macbeth. Enter Macduff.
That way the noise is. Tyrant! Show thy face. If thou beest slain, and with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. I cannot strike at wretched kerns, whose arms are hired to bear their staves. Either thou, Macbeth, or else my sword with an unbattered edge I sheath again undeeded. There thou shouldst be. By this great clatter, one of greatest note seems bruited. Let me find him fortune, and more I beg not.
Exit Macduff. Enter Macbeth.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? While I see lives, the gashes do better upon them.
Enter Macduff.
Turn. Hellhound, turn.
Of all men else I have avoided thee. But get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword, thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
They fight.
Thou losest labour. As easy mayest thou the entrenching air with thy keen sword impress as make me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born.
Despair thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee. Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Accursed be the tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. Oh, and be these juggling fiends no more believe that palter with us in a double sense, that give the word of promise to our ear and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the time, where we'll have thee, as our rarer monsters are, painted on a pole, and under it, here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse. Though Burnham would be come to Dunsinane, and thou opposed being of no woman born, yet I will try the last. Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff, and damn be him that first cries, hold, enough.
They exit fighting. Macbeth's army retreats. Enter with drum and colours Malcolm, Syward, Ross, the other thanes and soldiers.
Macduff is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He only lived but till he was a man, the which no sooner had his prowess confirmed in the unshrinking station where he thought, but like a man he died.
He's worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him.
Re-enter Macduff with Macbeth's head.
Hail, King! For so thou art, behold where stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak thy salutation in their minds, whose voice I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail, King of Scotland!
We shall not spend a large expense of time before we reckon with the several loves and make us even with you. My thanes, my kinsmen, henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland in such an honour named. What's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad, that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who, as 'tis thought, by self and violent hands took of her life. This, and what needful else that calls upon us, by the grace of grace, we will perform in measure, time and place. So thanks to all, at once and to each one, whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone.
The end.
Oh, it's just me. Yay!
Hey.
That was. We did it.
Do I stop? Do I stop the?
Well, we can. I think we can have a little goodbye. Can have a little
All
goodbye
right, that's
thing.
cool. That's cool.
We do an awkward bow.
Yeah, we should all do to just the silent. Someone like throws flowers. But yeah, thank you so much for all of you guys for doing this read through, and thank you to everyone watching.
Thank you, Luke.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it was
Thank
amazing.
you.
It was really cool. It was really fun, and I hope everyone had fun.
I thought
Wonderful.
you were all brilliant.
You have a lovely speaking voice.
Yes, it was gorgeous.
Really gorgeous.
Yeah,
Oh wait, we need Joel. We need to get Joel for his
Oh,
bow
yeah.
as well. Of course,
yeah Joel,
Joel.
come.
Brilliant.
Star of the show.
He's running. He's running from the lounge. And here he is. He's going to do you a little bow, Joel.
Yay.
Yeah. Thank you so much for everyone here. And thank you everyone. We're getting a bunch of comments now on the shout out to stage directions. Just another all the love
Yeah, bring
for the
it on.
stage
Come
directions.
on.
But yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Hopefully we'll see you all very soon again for some other reading. I'm glad that we could be some entertainment.
Yeah,
And
bring
then-
it on.
And now you can press the button, Dad. To end it.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
I don't know if you've pressed the button.